That's just for you, man. Piper, that's just self-talk. You're just talking to yourself, trying to get yourself through the horror of this world.
Choice Meats.
Sit down. Sit down.
God brings about all things according to his will. In other words, it isn't that God manages to turn the evil aspects of our world to good for those who love him, but that he himself brings about those evil aspects for his glory. So he brings about the evil aspect and then he turns it, and we're supposed to praise him for it. That's their view of God, Birkenau and Auschwitz. I mean, I can't. I mean, I guess that is just one of the critiques that we hear, that we provisionists hear often, is that we just don't like God's sovereignty. Yeah, get wrecked. Anyway, we just don't like God's sovereignty, or we use emotional arguments to try to persuade people, and we're caught up in our feels because we just don't like what Calvinism teaches. I can't think of anything more meant to tickle your own ears and assuage your own emotions than saying that the horrors of the Holocaust were brought about by God's good plan. That's just for you, man. Piper, that's just self-talk. You're just talking to yourself, trying to get yourself through the horror of this world. But sorry, it's not that easy. You have to go through it. You don't get to call it good.
That passage that's woe to those that call evil good and good evil.
Oh,
what would Piper and the editors of this book and the authors of this book, what would they have to say to qualify as being among those who are being warned against for calling good evil and evil good? Because this just seems like an obvious example of terrible things. The Holocaust, a serial killer, and the abuse of a young child. The worst things you can think of. God ordained that for his good glory and purpose. It's not that it happened and then he turns it for your good, as MacArthur said, but it's that it was ordained for his glory.
And yet right now, on October 7th, just this last month, we've had the worst. That's what I told him. He even wanted to move it even more Blair Witchy. And I was like, you're telling a scary story.
I'm doing what I can.
I mean,
doing what I can with what I got.
Right now, you could put that light on it. We're telling a scary story where we actually serve a God who ordains for his good glory, the Holocaust. Right now, we have a situation in which those same people who would, and Catherine, I don't know what else to call it except blasphemy. I'm with you. That's that right
Blasphemy
there
is speaking evil of God. It's speaking evil. It's slandering someone, whether it's God or someone else. It's speaking evil of them.
Those same people, I think I'm doing a little bit of assuming here, but I think it's an informed assumption. The same people, conservative, Calvinist, Reformed types, who would support Piper and not really criticize him for that, even if they'd go like, well, I wouldn't say it like that. Like they wouldn't actually say he's wrong about that, are the same people who would defend Israel now and say the worst killing since the Holocaust, which just happened on October 7th. You can't call that good. That was terrible. That was awful. That was evil. And, you don't try to justify that. And all the people marching in the streets trying to justify it. They would be criticizing those people. And I'm just, the cognitive dissonance of that. It's hard for me to fathom.